Shalom, this is the brother Ataza Wamya from GMS South Carolina camp. I want to first and foremost give all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to those a great millstone. And shalom to all the Akim out here pushing the truth and sincerity. Alright, I'm going to read this article about how this demon, when I say demon, I'm talking about so-called white man. Alright, and read, the statistics on how destructive this man is and how far he has gone to destroy everybody. Okay, and this is just a short article and then a couple scriptures that I'm gonna end. It says expert find 30 trillion tons of toxic liquid injected into the earth poisons groundwater. Okay. Says over the past several decades, the U.S. industries have injected more than 30 trillion gallons of toxic liquid deep into the earth using broad expanses of national geology as an invisible dumping ground. Okay, no company would be allowed to pour such dangerous chemicals into rivers or onto the soil, but until recently, scientists and environmental officers have assumed that deep layers of rock beneath the earth would safely entomb the water for millennia. There are growing signs they were mistaken. Records from disparate concerns of the United States shows that wells drilled to bury this waste deep beneath the ground have repeatedly leaked, sending dangerous chemicals and waste grueling to the surface, or on occasion seeping into shallow aquifers that store a significant portion of national drinking water. Okay, so by them, which all these chemicals is basically byproducts of this man industrialization of factories and stuff. Him creating these different types of products in these industrial buildings. It produce waste, which they have no way of disposing of it properly, so they bury it. And now it's leaking into America's drinking water. Okay, in 2010, contaminants from such a well bubbled up in a West Los Angeles dog park. Within the past 3 years, several fountains of oil and gas drilling waste have appeared in Oklahoma and Louisiana. In South Florida, 20 of the nation's most strenuous regulated disposal wells filled in the early 90s released partly treated sewage into aquifers that may one day be needed to supply Miami's drinking water. Federal officers and many geologists insist that the risks posed by all this dumping are minimal. Accidents are uncommon, they say, and groundwater reserves, from which most Americans get their drinking water, remain safe and far exceed any possible threat posed by injecting toxic chemicals into the ground. But in interviews, several key experts acknowledged that the idea that injected is safe rests on science that has not kept pace with reality, and on oversight that doesn't always work. Some experts see the well failures and leaks discovered so far are signs of border problems. Rising concerns about how much pollution may be leaking out undetected. By the time the damage is discovered, they say it could be irreversible. Okay. Are we heading down a path we might regret in the future, says Anthony Ingraffia, a Cornell University engineer professor who has been outspoken critic of claims that wells don't leak. Yes, raw story highlights. In 10 to 100 years, we are going to find out that most of our underground water is polluted, says Mario Salazar, an engineer who worked for 25 years as a technical expert with the EPA's underground injection program in Washington. A lot of people are going to get sick, and a lot of people may die. Okay, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, which has primarily regulate authority over the nation's injection wells, would not discuss specifically specific well failures identified by ProPublica or make staffer available for interviews. The agency also declined to answer many questions in writing, though it sent responses to several. According to the risk analyst site and the EPA documents, a significant well leak that leads to water contamination is highly unlikely on the order of 1 in a million. Once waste is underground, though, there are few ways to track how far it goes, how quickly, or where it winds up. There are plenty of theories, but little data to prove the system works. Facts and figures. There are more than 680,000 underground waste and injection wells nationwide, more than 150,000 of which shoot industrial fluids thousands of feet below the surface. Scientists and federal regulation acknowledge they do not know how many of these sites are leaking. It's simple as Esau. See, that's why he got to be put down, man. He's a demon. Okay, the bloom in oil and natural gas drilling is deepening the uncertainties geologists acknowledge. Drilling produces countless amounts of waste, burning regulators and demanding hundreds of additional disposal wells. Thus, more holes punched in the ground are changing the Earth's